That was kind of stressful actually. It almost feels like I went through one of these. I'm to try to get my mind off that stuff. Too bad I can't talk about it. I actually wanted to document stuff like that. Yeah, just those darn NDAs. I guess just for myself, just a little reflection. Would be good if it works out, but it's one of those things, you just gotta forget about it. I think for me, that's why I do things like flying the drone, for example. Like I know for a lot of other people, they might have their own reasons. For me, I fly it just as a kind of a stress relief and an artistic expression, I guess. Because with the things I do anyways, it can be really stressful. Always people telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that, you must do things this way. Whereas flying the drone, like in my opinion, like seeing the scenery, the perspectives that you can't normally see, it just, I don't know, in my opinion, it's kind of like a relief in many ways. It's kind of like being free to be able to do the things that, you know, everyone else always says you can't do. Sorry if that sounds really like broad or whatever for people that are new, but again, it's more for me like just as a self documentation, I guess. And at the same time, I guess people who've been following me for a while, like, you know, the type of things, NDAs and all that. It's kind of funny to think about too, because with the drone hysteria and the new proposed laws, a lot of people would say things like flying drones, like they're no good. Like if you do have one, then all you're doing is spying on people. I mean, just like for my own personal example, again, for me, it's more of a creative outlet, a way to relieve stress. Like for a person like myself, for example, like I don't go to things like bars and stuff. I mean, that's just a lifestyle choice. I'd rather do things like this. I mean, I don't stop other people from enjoying a hobby, whatever like they do, as long as they're not hurting others. And I think it should be the same thing here. It was actually interesting reading below. You guys were trying to talk about whether or not like certain organizations are actually exempt, like from the proposed laws. Like there's some confusion whether or not they do have exemptions or they don't. Like my understanding anyways from what I read, it's basically they're exempt like for particular fields, I think. That's from what I gather anyways from the feedback that I've been hearing from people. But it's interesting to follow to see if anyone comes up with any interesting details. And with the 90 days or less now to make the feedback, it makes me wonder again if there's actually a collective way to do this. That's a lot better. Because I know for me anyways, I'm more about informing the public, putting it out there and all that stuff. I'm not so formal, like going in a suit and a tie saying, here's my proposal and whatever. So it'd be kind of neat if there's actually someone doing that. Because I like to actually put it out there just to show like, hey, there were people talking about it, and if they're ignoring it, then they did it on purpose, like for the most part. I've said it many times, all I know is whether it be a company or an organization, when you have like tens of thousands of people or whatever gathered up in one place, you see all these reactions and they have no choice but to react to it. Like they can ignore one person sending it at a time, but when you have everyone doing it, then you have, it's like, okay, like what's going on? But the other thing I was thinking of in terms of the regulations and all that, I guess it comes down, some people talk about things like safety, like hazardous areas that are on fire and all that. And as you all know, like here in BC, we had like some pretty huge fires, which caused people to evacuate and to lose their homes and all that. And for me, again, like I think drones can be used in a good way. I mean, just recently you saw this video here. It showed like the destruction of the area. I'm like, holy cow. Like I actually think that's necessary in many ways to show people what it's like, because how would I know how bad it is like in general without actually seeing like the footage and all that? Like in this case, like obviously I would assume the person had permission to fly their drone, but I'm thinking here like, okay, it's over and done with. Since it's technically still like a hazardous or natural disaster area, are you telling me like a person like myself, I can't film this just to document it, to show people what it's like, to be informative? Like, to me, that's a little bit, I don't know, it's weird. Like you can use something for the good of the people, but yet you're stopped from doing it. Like I can see if there's a helicopter dumping water, then yeah, I shouldn't go there. But now, like everything is like that. Because some people even mentioned before, it should come down to self-policing in many ways. Like when it comes to people doing dumb stuff. Like I don't know if have you guys seen like this drone video? It was someone in a different country, and they basically filmed really close to like an airplane and all that. I mean, you can see here, like holy cow. It's almost as crazy as that other one I saw where people were sitting on the beach, like it's not with a drone, but that's how close he got. And from what I gather, most people in the community, like that fly drone stuff, they were like against the guy. They actually actively tried to report him and everything like that from the sounds of it. Like for me personally, I don't understand like the legality of where he was, whether or not it is illegal. But to me, that's been the common kind of result. When people see other people doing something really stupid, they do almost everything within their ability to try to like stop the person. I mean, I feel in many ways that's how it should be. Like just with like a vehicle or anything else, like you don't restrict it in that way in terms of dictating people. You just have general guidelines. I mean, like a car, how are you gonna stop someone from driving stupid like 100%? You can't. You can't babysit people in that way. You have to rely on other people as well to report, I don't know, like bad drivers and all that. like with the conversation yesterday about doing tricks and stuff with the model airplanes or whatever and not being allowed to do it. I mean, really, do you really need like a law to do that? I mean, I have common sense as a regular person. I can see, for example, if the guy is doing something stupid, like is he doing the loops in front of like a big crowded area with absolutely no control, then yeah, I would report that. But open field, come on, you don't need a written law for that. I mean, we have something in general already. If the person was using that object or whatever, like kind of like that other video I showed you guys before, of the person using their car and running into the flagger, I mean, come on, in my opinion, like that car would be treated as a deadly weapon. I would say anything in general would be the same thing if it's used in that way. You don't need like a special law for a special item like this or whatever to do that. Otherwise, in my opinion, if you write too many complicated laws and all that, all you're doing is stopping people from doing good with it. I mean, same thing with the, I don't know, like flying like stunts and so forth, like with the aircraft. I mean, I can think of a kid, maybe that's how it inspires them to make some kind of crazy airplane that's even better, like what we have now. I mean, by restricting that, in my opinion, you're just slowing the growth of everything, like in terms of the country, innovation, like whatever you want to call it. I feel like capturing a little bit more daring stuff, if that's the right way to say it, and some scenery. Like I said, for me, it's just an outlet, kind of a reflection of the day and what I captured, I guess. Well, some interesting scenery. I caught an eagle too. I think I can about finish that video for the contest too. Like all that bumping into the eagle and stuff kind of reminds me about the theme I'm trying to convey in that. Is it strange that for the prizes I'm actually more interested in things like the sunglasses to replace these temporary ones than the actual like drones, like the Inspires or whatever? Because I was just thinking, like for me anyways, for the lifestyle, like I can't carry like an Inspire and stuff around. Like I need something a little bit more portable. It's always good to hear even people from around the world that think like things like those acrobatic moves, banning them from like the model aircrafts is crazy. I mean, you guys explain it to us. All I'm doing is just reading what I read. I mean, according to them, they do their research, they talk to other people around the country, and that's how they do it. Like for the most part, it's for them to come up for what they had. All right, see you guys later.